Welcome to week 12 of the college football season. My name is Mike Browning. I'm the host of College Football Road Trip at cfbroadtrip.com. I'm coming off probably my best week of the year with an 8-1 record last week. My only loss was picking Purdue over Northwestern. Northwestern ended up pulling that out. We'll see how Northwestern does in this week's picks a little bit later, but there's a great slate of games going on, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start off with Appalachian State, who is traveling to 15th ranked Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is definitely the surprise of the season so far this year, being 7-0, undefeated, being ranked in the top 15. That's an amazing accomplishment. Appalachian State is unranked, but their only loss of the season is to undefeated Marshall. They have been rolling through their conference opponents so far, and I think it's going to keep going this week. I don't think it's going to be a blowout this week, but I think Appalachian State's going to have too much for Coastal Carolina. It will be close for the first three quarters. Appalachian State will find a way to pull it out in the end. I have Appalachian State over 15th ranked Coastal Carolina. Next, let's go to an American matchup. We have 7th ranked Cincinnati traveling to Central Florida, UCF. UCF over the past couple of seasons have been a great team, had the undefeated seasons a couple years ago, but now they've kind of come back down to earth a little bit, and Cincinnati is taking their place as the top 10 team that has a chance to make it into the college football playoffs if they can continue to finish the season undefeated. They're going to be right there if they could do it. But of course, to do that, they have to beat Central Florida this week, and I think they have way too much power to be able to just kind of blow Central Florida out of the water. Central Florida will keep it close for a half. Cincinnati will pull away in the second half. 7th ranked Cincinnati over UCF in American Conference play. Next, let's go over to the Pac-12. We have UCLA traveling to 11th ranked Oregon. UCLA is a team that I think might start being on the improving side of things to Chip Kelly. They did lose week 1 to Colorado by 6 points, but last week they had a very strong win against Cal. Oregon, on the other hand, struggled a little bit in the first half against Stanford before pulling away in the second half. But I think Oregon's just going to have way too much for UCLA. I think this is going to be another one of those matchups where it's close for the first half, and then Oregon finds a way to pull away in the second half. 11th ranked Oregon will win over UCLA in Pac-12 play. Next, let's go to what could be a strong Mountain West matchup. We have San Diego State traveling to Nevada. San Diego State is 3-1 so far in the season. Their only loss is to a very strong San Jose State team. You don't hear that very much for San Jose State. Nevada, on the other hand, is undefeated so far this season, and they're 4-0 record. But I think San Diego State's a very strong team. I think they're going to be able to find a way to go to Nevada and pull out the win this week. I have San Diego State winning over Nevada. Next, let's go to a Big 12 matchup. We have Kansas State traveling to 17th ranked Iowa State. 2 or 3 weeks ago, this would have been a much more marquee game. Kansas State has struggled a little bit the last 2 or 3 weeks. That's kind of brought this game down a little bit. Iowa State, on the other hand, has continued to look strong every week. I think they're going to look strong again this week. They're striving still for a Big 12 championship matchup. If they can continue to win out, they have to beat Kansas State to do that. I think they will. I think they will rather handedly, actually. I have 17th ranked Iowa State winning over Kansas State. Next, let's go to a non-conference matchup. We have 21st ranked Liberty traveling to NC State. Now, a couple weeks ago, Liberty played Virginia Tech. They ended up pulling out that win and winning that game. That is a game that I did not match. The question is now that they're traveling to NC State, can they do it again? I don't think they'll be able to. I think NC State is not going to take Liberty lightly like Virginia Tech might have a couple weeks ago. And Virginia Tech probably should have won that matchup. I think NC State will be able to do what Virginia Tech didn't, and that's win over Liberty. I have NC State winning over 21st ranked Liberty. Next, let's go to another Pac-12 matchup. We have 20th ranked USC traveling to Utah. Now, USC has not looked very good in their 2 wins so far this season. They've had to pull out fourth quarter comebacks in both of their wins. On the other hand, this is going to be Utah's first game of the season after a couple cancellations for the first 2 weeks. Because of that, I have to still give USC the edge because Utah still has not played a game. They haven't been in the flow of what that looks like yet. USC has that underneath their belts. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be another one where USC pulls away in the fourth quarter. It comes back from behind in the fourth quarter again. They'll find a way to do it. 20th ranked USC with the win over Utah and Pac-12 play. Now let's go to that Big Ten matchup I mentioned at the beginning of this video. We have 10th ranked Wisconsin traveling to 19th ranked Northwestern. Both of these teams are undefeated going into this week. We already know Wisconsin has had a couple COVID scenarios that have caused cancellations on their schedule. Northwestern, with their strong win over Purdue, they've looked like probably one of the better teams in the Big Ten so far this season. Wisconsin needs to win this game if they want to stay in the top 10 and continue to compete. I think Wisconsin will find a way to do that. I have 10th ranked Wisconsin over 19th ranked Northwestern in Big Ten play. Let's go to another matchup of top 25 teams in the Big 12. We have number 14, Oklahoma State, traveling to number 18th, Oklahoma in Bedlam. Oklahoma State has looked pretty good so far this year. They have 1 loss so far in the season. Oklahoma, on the other hand, have their first 2 losses in conference play to Kansas State and Iowa State, but they have looked like they have just started to really put things together on both the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. I'll be honest, look at last week's game. It was the exact opposite where the defense looked great. The offense looked so-so. They were able to put enough plays together to pull away in the end, but the defense is just looking great. And I think that's going to come in handy this week, putting both sides of the ball together. Oklahoma's too strong. They are going for another Big 12 championship. They have to win this week to do it, and I think they will. 18th ranked Oklahoma over 14th ranked Oklahoma State in Big 12 play. Now let's go to our marquee matchup of the game. It's the marquee game of the week, but it's an 11 o'clock Central kickoff. We have 9th ranked Indiana against 3rd ranked Ohio State. No one expected Indiana to be 4-0 and undefeated so far this season. But if you look at who they've played, the games that they've played, Penn State, Michigan State, those are not very good teams so far this season. Ohio State really hasn't played any strong games either, but they have been dominant in the games they've played. I think that dominance is going to continue again this week. Indiana, you've had a great run. I think it ends this week. I have 3rd ranked Ohio State over 9th ranked Indiana in Big Ten play. So those are our matchups for this week. Again, a lot of top 25 matchups, a lot of great games outside the top 25 matchups as well. Go enjoy a great slate of games, and we will talk to you again next week.